everyone's doing well, and welcome back to another weekly outlook. So cool. This week that just passed, it wasn't, really what we wanted. I gave you guys a weekly outlook and a weekly outlook, but there was no trade breakdowns coming out. So evidently, as can see, there was no sort of crazy good setup or major setup that I would have gone over. What I intend to do in the future actually is sometimes there might even be setups that I'm not taking. For example, I don't always trade London. So if there's a day that's extremely textbook, I might make a quick video, cover it, see why that would have been a good trade, how you could have entered, handled it, managed it, etc. Right? But of course, this week there just really wasn't much. We had the news drivers, we had the PPI, CPI, we had the retail sales, not much on the Friday. But even then, weekly candle didn't give exactly what we wanted. Even from the midweek outlook, right? If we go on the DXY, which is from here, we wanted to see higher prices. Very clear higher repricing is what we wanted to see, right? Especially after you get a daily candle like this, just wasn't really offered, right? I know some of you might be looking at this candle, but even then, if you come on a lower time frame, zoom in a little bit, you just see this across. So this is the move post CPI, so very large impulse move, nice. From here, we wanted to see the trade into this, and then from here, the move higher. But you guys can see, right? Of course, initial move higher into this, higher, all the way back down, and then higher, right? This is very, very clear accumulation. So cool. Now, first things first, going into this week, right? We have a bank holiday on the Monday. So Monday will be no trade day. On top of that, how prices up here, despite how the daily candles look, how prices set up on that low time frame and how sort of tightly consolidated it is, I wouldn't have a firm bias anyways, right? I would let it be, as we do with the Monday candles usually anyways. We don't have much going on the Tuesday. We do have some, news drivers for the CAD, which sometimes can give a kick on the DXY. Not much on the Wednesday. We've got unemployment claims on the Thursday, and then on the Friday we have good number of new drivers on all of our main pairs, the Euro, the GBP, and the US dollar, right? So looking at a week like this, very similar to how we had CPI, right? We would expect the expansion in the latter end of the week. And what happens, guys, right? What's very important to know when you have consolidations like this, right? What we'll do quickly. Is the freestyle one. Okay, cool. So let's assume, right, what you might see is a bit of this. Let's assume, right, this candle here is going to be let's say, based on economic calendar, the expectation is that candle is up Monday and on Tuesday, and then midweek it sort of maybe starts shaping up, right? But what I would expect, right, when we look at a calendar like this, that is more like, right, it's not guaranteed, but just logically it's going to be more likely you are going to be getting the movement, right? You will eventually see a sweep like this, perhaps on the Thursday or the Wednesday, to then set up the Thursday and the Friday to then go, potentially like this, right? Or maybe we'll go the other way. Whichever way it is, whichever way it's swept, whichever way it's going down, based on the news, etc. This is your latter end of the week looks like, and that's the end you want to trade. This, the start of the week, when it's choppy, when it's stuck in this consolidation going up and down, when people see a little sweep here and then a rundown, and then this is where people blow accounts. Because what will happen, right? What a lot of people will actually do is you might see a very small sweep here, then a short setup, which is often on the lower time frame. They take the trade and then they get a bit ambitious, and then they try to hold it to down here. They try to hold it to somewhere down here, and then what happens is price gets very close, and then they don't close the trade. Then it reverses all the way back up. Why? Because price is consolidating. It is very, very, very easy to get burnt in a consolidation like this, right? It's because price does move right? It has a sort of range that's moving within. So if you are trading this, which you really shouldn't be, right, it's important that you scalp, like you close it within the range. It's best, right? What you can even do, this has been covered in a sort of previous episode, if you really, really are going to trade a consolidation, right? Which again, like I'm saying, I'm not recommending. What you can do is, right, if we go from high to low, is see it as premium and discount. And if you take a trade from a reversal of the premium, from perhaps a sweep on a high, then, you know, from there, you can consider taking profit anywhere in the discount. Don't just wait for that external liquidity to get it. Vice versa, if you're taking a long trade and you've seen a sweep here, then consider taking profit somewhere in the premium of this consolidation, right, rather than waiting for the high to get taken. Now, what's very important, right, sometimes we get these very slight sweeps. I'm sure this candle here has it very, very, very slightly swept this, which ended up being a previous daily high sweep on our Friday, and then that caused a major reversal all the way down here, right? Price took all of this sort of internal liquidity, didn't actually hit this low, and then reversed back up. Right, what we want to see from price in a scenario like this, right, like I said, of course, is a consolidation. It might continue for now, but if we want to break out of this, we want to see a very clear, right, consolidation, right, accumulation, manipulation, distribution there, right? We want it to be a very clear AMD, whichever way price is going, right? This is something I'm telling you guys generally, right? I know you're probably concerned about the bias right here, right now, but just generally, right, even if price is going higher, we want to see a very clear manipulation beforehand, and then a large kick for the distribution for us to say, okay, let's, you know, entertain this. So cool. Let's get back into our tools. We want to see. So like I said, we are in the consolidation. Please bear that in mind. Based on this daily candle closure, I would support price going higher from here, right? It is still likely we can run this high. We can consider this to be an OTE, right? Where price is now coming to the discount, hit this daily order block, has reacted, right? We do have a sort of good sweep here into the discount and then the move higher. And again, based on this daily closure with the next candle opening anywhere here, I wouldn't necessarily expect, you know, price to hammer all the way down, you know, sweep everything, and then of course head back higher. And like I said to you guys, we did have this candle taking the previous daily high and coming all the way down to take the sell side liquidity here. And it's a bit easier on a lower time frame. Let me show you. Essentially, this move here clips the buy side very, very slightly, right? But it still does it. If you guys can see, takes the buy side with this sweep, comes all the way down, taking all of this sell side, and then back up, right? So if we consider that as a sweep, then, you know, from here we would expect higher prices. Now, where can we see higher pricing to on the DXY for now? The next logical target is this high. This is a sort of short-term target, and then once we take this high, we can consider, you know, do we want to see higher prices? You know, once prices built the PDRA matrix, then from there we can consider, you know, what do we need to see disrespect of a reversal, etc., whatnot, right? But in the short term, essentially, we just need to let the candles print, right? Of course, you know, we're saying we can see higher prices here, but it's not a very firm bias. Again, when you come from candles like this, it is very easy to have the bias, right? You have candles like this. You see how easy it is to expect, okay, you know, order block, and then we expected this to get hit, didn't get hit, but you got a massive whip. The next day comes, also starts trading higher. That's when it becomes, okay, now the next day is most likely going to trade higher. Okay, this day traded higher, then the likelihood of this daily candle trading to this high became a lot higher. Then this one a lot higher, until eventually this high got hit out. High has been hit out, now you have to be a bit more patient. You know, are we going to keep expanding? Are we going to retrace? And then eventually the retracement comes and that cycle repeats. You've got the retracement, expansion begins, and now, you know, if this next daily candle prints higher, then the following daily candle becomes even clearer. Okay, the likelihood of us setting up here again, right, is much higher. So cool. Now onto the bond yields, which aren't in line with the DXY but are in line with what we actually expected. Is we've taken that buy side liquidity, we've had, you know, a move that's come down. That's what I'd consider, a sort of strong move. There's displacement here. We've created a balanced price range / inversion for value gap. What I want to see on the bond yields for me to entertain, a proper bearish reversal is actually a kick below these lows, right? We've got a weekly fair value gap here we can respect for now, use it as sort of support for price, a retracement into this range, and then continuation. If we can get something like this, then it's likely this is sort of the offsetting of the market maker sell model and a potential, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. But we need to see this displacement that's occurred here continuing on. Another thing to always consider, right, is you're sort of, where are you in the month? Where are you in the monthly candle? What can we expect from price? If the higher the month is set here and the monthly candle closes like this, or closes as a bearish candle, then to me that becomes even more obvious. This is very likely a sort of top, and then from here we're expecting lower prices. Right? We'll quickly look at very similar on the DXY. We could be seeing something like that on the DXY, and just depending on this candle closure, I think it's very sort of just in the middle now. There's no, clear reading based on the monthly candle. So again, just have to let a few candles print and see where it goes. The EURGBP. Okay. Again, we spoke about this last week. We've taken a lot of sort of internal buy-side liquidity. This week we took even more buy-side liquidity, right? And we left equal highs with this high sort of feeding into this fair value gap. This is the area I would be watching for price to offer a kick down from, right? Very clearly here, we had a sort of consolidated rundown. Now it looks like price is definitely reaching for something. This is the sort of next viable target on the higher time frame. We want to see price push into this, right? And once this is hit, if we can get some sort of clear displacement, you guys can see, right? If we treat this all from this high all the way to this low, you guys see all this internal liquidity in the sort of discount equilibrium gets run out, move into the first clear premium array, and then displacement down from there. Then again, offset a market maker sell model, allow for lower price. And I think this is definitely something key to watch this week with the sort of news coming up, especially on the Friday, considering our news for the Euro and the GBP. There's a good likelihood we get some sort of clarity on the charts. And again, if you can hit this with about 12 days left in the month, roughly, if we can hit this and then we have a monthly candle that sort of hits this and then looks like a large wick moving away, then it sets the bias nicely for the upcoming month and continue towards this sell side target. Not a bit clear. Very interesting stuff going on in the crypto market. I'm sure some of you guys have seen what's going on with that Trump coin or whatnot. It's craziness. I don't think there's any market that's ever been like crypto. Even you guys know about earlier markets, the .NET bubble, and essentially around the creation or the emergence of the internet, just digital companies and everything. I just don't think it was at the same level. The amount of money in the market, the way it moves, is just crazy. But anyways, like we said last time, right, we've got the monthly IO Fed. This is a very clear sweep on sell side liquidity, and what we said is, look, this could be a retracement for a potential push lower, or we are going higher. And what I said to you guys specifically was, if we close above this high, and it's a strong closure, by strong I mean clear solid closure above rather than just a wick above, then it's very likely we're heading high. So now from here, I want to see price push all the way back up for the all-time highs, right? Clearly on track to do so. Looking very nice here. We may get a retracement or two. If we get a retracement here, we can actually pin the range the whole way, meaning we can go from this low to anchor it wherever the current high is. I think it's very unlikely we get sort of deep discount retracement or anything, but I would be paying attention to the more close local fair value gaps, like this daily fair value gap, small fair value gaps, seeing what we're leaving on our sort of the monthly chart. Of course, is obvious, monthly IO Fed. I also said to you guys bear in mind, right, if this month, again, we expect to take the previous monthly high and closes anywhere around this high, right, then the following month should also be heading higher, right, just logically coming from the high of it. And then we'll just take a look at our weekly. Yeah, shaping up very nice. Just very clear sell side sweep. It's a very textbook move, right? Move higher. And again, 15 hours left on this candle closes anything like this, the likelihood of that next candle getting higher is just, yeah, it's very obvious. We'll quickly take a look at a couple of other things. Bitcoin dominance, right? If you guys remember, we wanted to see a bearish move on this. We wanted to see it start taking sell side. It's actually just sort of started consolidating in place, building large consolidation. This isn't horrible, but Bitcoin dominance generally is just very high right now, meaning that all the eyes are on Bitcoin, all the movements on Bitcoin, and you know, it's just not great for altcoins, the sort of smaller coins where everyone's expecting to make, you know, big money or has held them for months and whatnot. What you need to see typically is, you know, you can sort of cross-check this, right? If you go back in the past and you see when the altcoins were really running, just simply do it as a back test if you want, right? What was Bitcoin dominance doing and what was Bitcoin doing? Because if Bitcoin price is crashing down heavily and Bitcoin dominance is crashing down heavily, then sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, your alts can still hold and whatnot. But if Bitcoin dominance is high and Bitcoin price starts crashing, then the whole market bleeds very, very hard. Right? Because it means all the money's in Bitcoin and it's crashing and the money's staying there. You get me? It's not a great scenario for the rest of the market. So this sort of monthly candle closure was not very definitive. It's not really giving us much. It did sweep some sell side, trade back into the range. Overall, from here, we do want to see lower prices. I think based off this initial displacement and us sort of sitting in the premium, if we can kick down from here, if we can get one more leg down, it could be the sort of start of something very nice in the crypto market, sort of run that we get given on the smaller coins. And, you know, if you guys are into crypto, you've probably heard of alt season and whatnot. These targets are saying that if we can start moving down and Bitcoin price can stay relatively high or retrace, start consolidating, it'll be great. And lastly, S&P, very nice sweep, exactly what we wanted to see. We covered this in the midweek outlook as well, right, guys? We said, you know, from here, price has sort of traded into this trend line. We want to be careful, right, that we don't get, you know, sucked into a part of retail engineering where price can tap this and then again trade lower. But from the looks of it, we want to see price go higher, right? One area. So actually, let's pull that back. Let's start off at monthly candle again, right? Based on where we are in the month, 12 days left, and the way this candle looked in previous monthly low sweep, is very likely the lower the month is in, price has displaced higher the daily time frame. This looks like a bearish order block. Therefore, what will follow in our PDRA matrix is the fair value gap / expansion. So the next sort of logical target here would be the previous candle's high, right? And price is on track to go for that. Very similar on our weekly time frame. We didn't take the previous weekly high, got very close, and we had the previous weekly low sweep. You know, you can see this candle as a sort of IO fed / sweep, and then from here, we would expect the next candle to trade higher, right? And then pull back to our daily time frame. What can we sort of look at is we can anchor from this low to this high. If, you know, price starts a bit slow, again, there's not a lot of news drivers. Let's imagine we're a little bit cumulative. We could come hit this daily fair value gap. This is definitely an area of interest I would watch. If we get to this fair value gap, displays higher, then it just sets up for very nice longs. It does have very, very nice targets. Take this, target, 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 all the way back to all-time high, right? Just play it simple. It's a market maker buy model. We've got that initial, you know, accumulation here. This is just a nice accumulation, manipulation. We're in that distribution phase. We want to see it continue, right? But yeah, guys, that is it for this weekly outlook. Quite a few things covered there. And like I said, you know, in terms of bias, maybe you guys are still a little confused. Nothing's, you know, relatively concrete. What I might do is make another midweek outlook depending on how price moves, see where we are on Thursday, like so expecting expansion on the latter end of the week, maybe a midweek / late week outlook might publish. But simply put, just let more candles print, right? Like I said to you guys, always consider the sort of like proximity and where the candles are, how long you have left in the week, etc. And just how the chart's shaping up, right? Logically, we said this could be a swing low. So if this next candle, right, Monday's candle or Tuesday's comes and prints a little higher, then it makes the likelihood for the following candles to then also trade higher towards this, right? Because you start approaching that buy side liquidity, right? And especially if we leave the sell side intact, what that could potentially mean, what could the weekly profile look like? That, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday trade towards this area, maybe even Thursday, right? This is the sort of bulk of the expansion. Then you finally take previous weekly high, you get a kick down, and perhaps the kick down ends up being quite strong because the bond yields are looking very bearish at the moment, right? But just keep it simple, guys. If it's not clear, if you don't have a good read on your weekly, daily candles, just let the candles print until it becomes clear, right? That's just all you need to do, right? Most of the time, it's just sit in your hands waiting for it. But yeah, guys, that is it for the weekly outlook. As usual, any questions, suggestions, requests, etc., just leave them down below and I'll get back to all of you.